Hello all YouTubers, I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back into this weather presentation for October 27th, 2019. As always, please consider subscribing, especially at this point in my channel. It is deeply appreciated, as well as ringing the bell notifications, looking in the description for other videos of mine, and as well as watching the whole video. Now, as always, you can consider checking out my playlists. See, it will be this will be my 37th winter storm coverage video, as well as some other, great videos from my phone to find like a specific, topic that you want to choose from. But as always, let's get started. So we're going to be talking about 2 rounds of snowstorms coming through the north central United States. All of them from now through Halloween. One will be coming through Monday, one will be coming through Thursday. And we're going to cover all that right now, right here. Alright, so let's get right into it. So this is GFS model here. And as you can see, we do see storm number 1 coming out the front range of the Rockies. And if you got a location of you or a loved one or anybody you care about that you would like to share, just comment it down below and I'll try my best to get back to you on that location. And, just to see what the conditions will be like there for a given amount of time and stuff like that. But you can see here comes the storm out the front range of the Rockies, coming into the place like Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas, even northern Missouri. Kansas City or around there could see a mix of, sleet and freezing rain. But, northern Missouri, very eastern Kansas, this will be a rainmaker for you. The storm will deepen in strength a little bit, and as I've said, as you know, that the snowflakes, they get bigger and larger. As you get closer to the rain-snow line, closer to the area of rainfall, that warm sector, which since it's October and the temperatures will be in the 30s anyway, for some areas, so it's already in a warm sector. Even though I usually say during the dead of the winter that, we need temperatures in the 30s that have bigger snowflakes, closer to that rain-snow line. Yes, that still is true for this particular situation. That storm pulls out with some heavy snow, especially for southern Wisconsin. Okay, looking at the total snowfall, I would pull up the 18Z model run, but, it just started coming out, and there's only like 72 on it, so can't quite, give it the full, blow by blow on it. But 4 to 6 inches of snow, possibly, for southern Wisconsin, UP Michigan, 2 to 4 inches, eastern Iowa, 2 to 4 inches, north central Kansas, maybe a dusting to 2 inches, dusting to 1 inch for southern Nebraska, southwestern South Dakota, maybe 1 to 2, 2 to 4 for the Panhandle, Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, maybe like a dusting. And I believe I covered everywhere. Maybe northern Missouri could even get, dusting to 2 inches. So that's for the first storm. Now the second storm, that's something to be worried about. So it's going to be essentially 2 pieces of energy. One coming out of the south, in a motion like this, and one off the front range of the Rockies like before, and like this. And they're going to combine essentially to be one big low. That's not where the low is going to be. I just drew that there. So you can see when the lows come from the south like this, especially see that when we get nor'easters sometimes, or just coastal storms, or even just regular wintertime storms in the east. Sometimes on the northern fringe, you can even get some snow out of it. And sometimes it's like on the northwestern side, or on the western side because it's behind the storm. But in times like this, you got the low and you got the cold air coming down. Sometimes even that the snow can form on the northern fringe as opposed to the western fringe. So here comes the storms, and they're going to combine, and we can see some torrential or even some, moderate to major icing in southeastern Kansas, northern Missouri at first. It might change to snow later. And you can see the pressure seems higher, but it will start to deepen. And there you go. Look at this. It looks like almost like a bomb cyclone, but you can see, look at like the dips we have, these cold air plunges that we have just going on. So not necessarily a jet stream, but certainly we got some, the way these are shaped, these lines are shaped, we do see some cold air really coming down. And I did learn that the 540 line is kind of your rain snow line, but it really isn't. As you can see, the green goes well into the 528 line. That blue line there, if you can read the numbers. So not quite true, but it's kind of a guideline to where the rain snow line could be. And you can see on the back side, eastern Iowa, northwestern Chicago. Parts of Iowa are going to get snow the whole time. Not really worried about any, rain there. And let me get this thing moving again. So you can see Iowa's pretty much snow the whole time. Maybe eastern Iowa could transfer to a mix. And then Chicago now, GFS model starting to say, hey, Chicago could get some in on some snow on the backside. They weren't saying that before. And also maybe northern Indiana, like I was predicting, and maybe even southwestern Ohio could get in on a bit of flurries on the backside. And then it's out of here, almost. Northern Michigan here, seeing some really heavy snow. Even western Pennsylvania, New York could even see some snow, like Pittsburgh. You might get on the rain and snow mix or just some snow. And then finally it's out of here with your occasional, little snow bands and snow flurries behind it, lingering for a little while. So, when you combine the two storms together, how much snow do you have? And I will say this might be down from before, and you can see, this is including ice, mind you, but southeastern Iowa, eastern Iowa, northern Missouri, southern Wisconsin, leading the pack here with 6 to 12 inches of snow, and maybe even 12 or 13 right in a little spot in eastern Iowa there. Northern Michigan, you can see maybe 12 to 14 inches in that little spot there, but for abroad, eastern UP, Michigan, northern, mainland, maybe 6 to 12 inches as well. Canada could see nearly 2 feet in some localized areas. All of Kansas could see maybe, 3 to 6 inches of snow, especially in the central northern part of the state. Southern Nebraska, you can see all these little fours running right across the state line. So 4 inches there for the Nebraska and Kansas border. And even, Panhandle, Nebraska, 2 to 4 inches. So, and even Chicago, not much, but you could see like a dusting to an inch. Peoria, Illinois could see like 2 inches. Maybe even Indiana could see a dusting, so. And maybe lake effect snow for coming off the lake there. For Pennsylvania and New York could see 1 to 3 inches. So that's the total when you combine the two storms with the GFS model. Let's look at the CMC now. You can see storm brushing through. Not really going to spend too much time on this one per se. But you can see the storm brushes through. How much snow are we predicting with the CMC model? There's a little band here through Illinois and Indiana could produce maybe up to an inch. But the storm itself, maybe, 3 to 6 inches of snow. 3 to 6 inches there. Northern Missouri, eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, and southern Wisconsin. Northern Michigan, maybe about 1 to 3 inches. UP, Michigan, 2 to 4. Panhandle, Nebraska, maybe even 4 to 6. And the NAM 3KM model, really just not going to take you through much. It might take you through the first storm. You can see some heavy bands here. Let me draw, because you can't see my fingers. You see some heavy bands of snow forming through central Iowa, northern Missouri. This is more high definition radar. Okay, we're going to get it moving ourselves here. Hold on a sec. And you can see snow spreading through, but they're not going to be able to cover the second storm quite yet. So, just for the first storm, the NAM model is calling for about 1 to 3 inches with localized 4 across that same area. Panhandle, Nebraska could even see 3 to 6 inches of snow as well. NAM 12KM, that goes out a little bit farther out to 84 hours as opposed to 60. And you can see second storm starting to get together, but that's all it goes to. So total snowfall there, again, widespread 2 to 4 across much of this area that I highlighted in black. Okay, enough with all the model, messing around. I'm going to show you the radar for Colorado and what the first storm is doing right now and how it's starting to, get itself organized. So I just want to give it a little refresh just in case. And here's the radar for, and you can see not much right now. In fact, you might think this is just some random, snow patch, snow flurries, but it is our storm getting together. Cheyenne, Fort Collins, and Denver here. Eastern South Dakota, northern Nebraska. Really probably not even reaching the ground in these two areas here. But this one is definitely reaching the ground. I saw Denver this morning on the Weather Channel. They had a little live camera. And it was snowing. I mean, not, snowing, but there was flakes coming down, a few flakes, when they weren't even under anything according to the radar. So, just goes to show that radar doesn't mean everything. And if we zoom in a little bit closer here, there's a band potentially approaching Cheyenne, Wyoming, that I think it's just sitting there, to be honest with you. I mean, right between Laramie and Cheyenne, there's just a heavy band of snow just sitting there. You can see, I did turn the opacity up so you could see it. The opacity, turning it up, it makes the colors, there. It doesn't make them darker. So I'm not making it seem like it's heavy. So I'm not really like, rigging it or, making it darker. I'm just, it's the colors are still there the way they make it, but I'm just so they can stand out better. And to be honest with you, that band between Laramie and Cheyenne is just sitting there. And maybe if you can pull up like a past 24 hours, yeah, that'd be nice. But there is a graph on here that's like, past 24 hours snowfall. Here we go. Past 24 hours snowfall. Let's see if this will give us an accurate measure here. And as you can see, look at this. Right around Laramie and Cheyenne, even almost 5 to 8 inches of snow so far in the past 24 hours. So basically what we've seen from the storm. Even Denver's picked up maybe 3 to 5 inches. Parts of the mountains seen 5 to 8. But that's the snow you picked up so far. And widespread, I mean, in South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, even northern Nebraska. So that's what it's looking like there. And really for parts of the northern plains, like, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, the snow's coming early for you. Like, eastern Kansas doesn't even see their first snow usually till December. And for Iowa, that's usually season in November. I mean, so this is almost right on time for you. Just a little bit early for most spots. Here's a satellite loop. You can really see the storm there. And by the way, this little area on the satellite, I was watching this for like a few hours. And I'm just hoping that makes it to California to relieve with the drought. But the problem is that we got so much dry air in place, it could just dissipate. Because you can kind of see that northern flow, that dry air is it's starting to, you can see it's starting to spread the convective activity out, and it's just not really going to make it there. But let's hope it does. Anyway, look at the storm on the visible satellite. You can see it's not really like a low, it's just not elongated, but just a strip of moisture that's being funneled down by these north winds, the same northerly winds that are causing those wildfires over there in California. God bless those people. I mean, literally, like, extreme fire danger is something I've never really seen before there today. But conditions are improving slightly tomorrow and Tuesday. So, you can see that slowly these area of cold cloud tops is getting pushed slightly to the south by that high pressure and those strong northerly winds. Then eventually, the jet stream picks it up, pushes it east, out into the north-central United States. So that's basically the game plan with the storm system. Wrapping up this video, or not quite, but almost, and you can see that assuming that this is snow, this is just radar reflective, it doesn't, separate snow from rain. Assuming that this is all snow, areas in that green, some slightly heavier snowfall coming down. Slightly heavier snowfall rates, especially northwest and the mountains northwest of Denver. And we do have some winter alerts. Denver itself, winter weather advisory, just west of you, winter storm warnings. So if you go to weather story, and even though just because it says a winter weather advisory doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to get much snow. Like, a winter weather advisory in the mountains probably mean, like in the California, foot of snow. Like over here, that would probably trigger a winter storm warning. Not necessarily. A winter weather advisory, just the winter storm warning is only there if as we look at the naming criteria here, only if 2 million people are going under winter storm warnings, or if 400,000 square kilometers of land is going under winter storm warnings, that's when they name the storm. And it doesn't look like this is going to be named. The second storm that comes through on Halloween might be named, but snow forecast confidence for the mountains of Colorado here looking high. Winter weather advisory areas, if you're in the winter weather advisory, you can see about 4 to 10 inches. So for Denver, winter storm warning up in the mountains, you could see, near 16 inches of snow. And the highest amounts will be above 9,000 feet. But even the I-25 corridor, just because you're near the surface, like in Denver town itself, you're still going to see some snow. This isn't September where only the mountains see snow. Like, on the ground, you're going to be seeing snow, even at 0 elevation. So, those very dark areas of orange, 12 to 18 inches, but in the highest elevations, that's like above like 9,000 feet. But overall, Denver points westward, 6 inches plus is to be expected. Quick look at the ice forecast here according to the GFS model. Little strip here from, I'd say, central Oklahoma, or western Oklahoma, maybe even northern Texas, but panhandle of Oklahoma, through eastern Kansas, northern Missouri, Iowa, Illinois state line, through southern Wisconsin. Kind of breaks up a little bit, and then maybe even through Canada. These areas could even see some ice. So make sure you're being careful. Canada could see, nearly half an inch of ice. But both of these systems here may be producing or combining to produce up to a third of an inch of ice, which can still cause some problems. I'm just saying not as much as they're getting in Canada. Thank goodness. European model here, 10-day snowfall outlook combining both storms, and doesn't look too bullish. GFS came down a little bit, maybe like 6 to 10 plus here, maybe like 5 inches down here, and then of course in the mountains of Colorado from both systems you're gonna get about well over a foot. And there's your windstorm naming criteria to review that. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you want to have another brief look at when you see your first measurable snow, there you are. If you're not shaded and you're in that brown, January, February, if at all. Light blue is December, dark blue is November, that lavender is October, and magenta is September. But, for magenta and purple, we're already past that point. So, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for my next video. Can't wait to keep talking about winter. And, by the way, I almost forgot. Hurricane Pablo formed and is actually strengthened even more to 80 miles per hour. And it just keeps on strengthening, so really weird. But Olga just came through my area today, the remnants in the eastern seaboard, producing some heavy rain. But that is gone. Briefly a tropical storm, post-tropical. But Hurricane Pablo, wow. 80 mile an hour winds. Probably going to weaken by tomorrow, start weakening. Hopefully, probably where it's going to peak out, but no threat to Europe whatsoever. And that is it. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned to my next video. No threat for tropical storm force winds in Europe at all. So thank you for watching. See you guys next video.